Hi everybody, thanks for all your support with my leg and what's going on with my operation. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dave, and I thought today I've got to make some sort of a video. I've got to do something. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm making the most of the things you don't get in the hospital, which are chocolate chip cookies and decent coffee. Without further ado, first aid, we're going to continue on with that little story. So what I thought I'd do, I thought I'd give you some guidelines on what to do in scenarios. I've got a couple of scenarios that I've just made up, really. They are quite relevant, I think. And although my first aid chat was quite a strong story and it got the point across, I thought perhaps a realistic scenario and the actions you should take when coming across the scene ahead might be beneficial for some people. So here it is. Hope it helps. What I'm not trying to do is train people up to be first aiders here. But I know that if I have an accident, I would like somebody to come across me that has got some idea of what to do. And this is my help to you guys, hopefully, to give you a chance to have an idea on what to do. You may already do. And if you do, please just ignore it. But if you're a bit concerned about an accident you might come across or something like that, then this is for you. It just gives you a few guidelines on what to do before you get going. It doesn't give you what to do first aid wise or anything like that, but what to actually do in the scenario and the situation. So let's get on to scenario one. It could happen to you. So I'm going to read from the screen again. You're driving along a deserted gravel highway in the Northern Territories and you notice an SUV vehicle stopped at the side of the road. There's a man sitting motionless in the driver's seat, and as you get closer, a woman jumps out the passenger seat and waves frantically at you to stop. You stop about 50 meters short of the car and the woman runs towards you. You note that the bonnet of the car is raised and there are tools laying on the ground. When she arrives at your car, she says, "Thank goodness someone came. We broke down and my partner is not well and drowsy and confused. There is no phone signal and I don't know what to do." What do you do? Well, this could be a totally bogus situation. I hate to have to say this, but in certain countries in the world, and it's happened in this country too, that could be just somebody trying to get you stopped so they can rob you. And you go off to help the guy and she pulls out a gun or something and holds your car up. And then when you get to the car, he knocks you on the head with a tire iron and you know, that sort of thing. So what do? Before I list what to do, take note here from commenters on rollovers and other scenarios on YouTube. They always say, if you experience a rollover, the first thing you should do is make a cup of tea. Stop, sit down, relax. This is very good advice because if you rush into a situation, it ain't going to end well for you. No, medical situation doesn't mean to say you've got time to make a cup of tea. But it does not mean you should go rushing into action either. Stop and think first. Will you be safe? It is no good if the rescuer ends up next to the victim with the same problems. You're not going to be much of a rescuer. Is there an electric shock hazard? You know, as the car brought down power lines, are they stuck on the car? Are they alive still? Is there a risk of spilt fuel? Is the fuel tank being ruptured? Is the car upside down? Is fuel leaking out? They're things that are going to be harmful to you if you stop. If no, then carry on. But if yes, you need to isolate those issues first before performing any rescue, because the last thing you need to do is be worse than the person being rescued. Sorry about the noise, just getting another biscuit out. Stop your vehicle about 20 meters short of the area if you can. This is mainly to keep the vehicle out of trouble if there's any problems. If there's a risk of a fuel fire, you don't want to park next to the car because your car gets burnt out. Then you'll be in the same situation again. Switch on your hazard warning lights. And if, in this case, leave your engine running. To keep the interior cool. Keep the aircon on. You may need it. Assess the situation. If there's danger, as you discussed above, dangers could be it's a trap, there are live wires, or there's a spilt fuel. Look for clues. There could be a snake. A guy could have got bitten by a snake in his cab while he was driving. You just don't know. Look for clues. Look at their vehicle and decide whether you think the woman is telling the truth, or they could be trying to get you to stop to allow them to rob you. It does happen. Ask the woman what happened and what she thought was wrong with the car. Ask the woman her partner's name. Ask how long they've been like this. She says he started getting thirsty, then they ran out of water and he started panting and breathing fast. Hasn't urinated for 3 or 4 hours. Ask how long they've been stranded, and she said to me about 2 hours. If you're happy and you feel this is genuine, then offer to help. Ask her if she has had anything to drink, and suggest that her partner could severely be dehydrated. Have they had anything to drink? Give her some water and sit her in your car to keep cool. Sorry, she won't be of any help if she's there anyway, but if she insists on returning with you, beware that this could be a trap. Approach cautiously, and upon inspecting the boyfriend, but you find he is drowsy and incoherent. He has no other wounds or marks anywhere, and there's no sign of a stroke, heart attack, or animal bite. You suspect he's in extreme dehydration and he's going to need to go to hospital. Extreme dehydration is serious. Ask the woman if they have a PLB or satellite communicator and get her to activate it immediately if they haven't already done that. If they have no other means of summoning help and there's no phone signal, activate your PLB. Be prepared for a long wait. Now, take note here. Once you activate your PLB, you must remain there until help arrives. Otherwise, emergency services will follow your GPS signal if you move. Do the following to the patient while you wait for assistance. Move them to a cool, shady place. Into your own cooler vehicle if required. Loosen any tight clothing and remove unnecessary clothes. Give them small but regular amounts of cool water. Do not leave the patient alone. Wait for the assistance coming. Severe dehydration needs immediate medical treatment. In hospital, you will get fluids through an intravenous drip. If you're mildly dehydrated, the best thing you can do is drink more water. Drink small amounts of water regularly. Rehydration fluids. You can make your own rehydration fluid with 6 teaspoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 litre or 5 cups of boiled water. Stir the mixture until the salt and sugar dissolve, and then drink that. And then this is scenario 2. This could happen to you too. You're in the high country driving a track and you notice some tyre marks going off the track. You stop and investigate and find a 4-wheel drive on its roof with both the female and the male driver still in the vehicle but unconscious. They are both hanging from their seat belts, and apart from a few cuts and bruises, they appear okay. The engine has stopped but the ignition lights are on. What do you do? Again, before I list what to do, take note here from the commenters and rollovers on other scenarios on YouTube. They always say if you experience a rollover, make a cup of tea, stop and relax. Good advice, but not in a medical situation. Don't rush into it, it won't end well for you. Now, a medical situation doesn't mean to say you've got time to make a cup of tea, but it does mean that you should not rush into action either. Stop and think. That's key. You will be safe. It's no good if a rescuer ends up as a victim with the same problems. Is there an electric shock hazard? Highly unlikely in the high country. Is there a spilt fuel risk? Highly likely with a rolled over petrol vehicle. Unlikely that these people have rolled over their vehicle to try and rob you. It is a possibility, but I doubt it. You need to isolate any risks or problems before performing any rescue. You must not go near that car if there's fuel leaking out before you've isolated the incident. You can bung up the hole, you can spray it down with water. You need to stop the fuel coming out. You need to stop and douse it down with water if you can. As with all accidents, your own safety is paramount. Keep your vehicle clear, switch on your own vehicle hazard warning lights and keep your engine running. Assess the car. Is it safe? Can it move further? Especially if the car is on a slope. Even if it cannot roll further, add some securing cables until it's recovered. Turn off the ignition if required, noting if the car is petrol or diesel. If it is petrol, then there's a big risk of fire and many fuel tanks have vents which fuel may be leaking from. Note that diesel is much safer than petrol. Now diesel, you cannot light with diesel with a match. It needs to be compressed. You'd need a blowtorch to get diesel to burn. Now, try and secure the car with a winch rope if possible, using their own winch if you can, but using your winch if you have to. Summon assistance either by calling 000 on your phone if you have a signal, or you will need a grid reference you can get from your sat-nav or track name, or by activating either their or your own PLB, like your own. Be prepared for a long wait. Please note that you must remain there once your PLB activates, because if you move, it will follow your GPS signal. Try talking with the couple to see if you can get a response. Try and get them conscious. Ask if they have any other pains or injuries. Do not release them from the seatbelts until you know whether there's any other pain or injuries, unless their life is in immediate danger, like the fuel car has caught fire. Okay? If they have any back pain at all, do not release them from the seat. Instead, try to support them and wait for assistance. Unless their life is in immediate danger, then you have no choice but to try and remove them. Just bear in mind that removing them might kill them. If they seem mostly uninjured, try and support them before releasing the seatbelt and avoid any further injuries from dropping them. Place them on your car and administer any first aid until help arrives. Switch on your UHF radio and set it to scan, because some people might try and contact you on the UHF radio, or you might hear voices and get some assistance. Never, never, never try to right the car with the people still inside. You must not do that. Okay. There's the two scenarios. I'll put you a link down to a video that I watched this morning on Mad Matt's 4-wheel drive channel. It's an American chap who rolled his car into a creek and he recovered it himself. It's a very interesting video, even if it's American, but, you know, he decided whether he wanted to recover it or not, and he actually ended up driving his car home even though it was written off. It's worth watching, quite a good video, but hopefully this has been of use to you. The big takeaway from this is you must stop and think before taking any action, because you just never know what the next thing is going to be, and you want to be safe. You need to stay safe because you are the rescuer. That's the big takeaway. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.